Finale features one of boxing's most exciting fighters, WBC middleweight champion Julian Jackson. This knockout artist from the Virgin Islands is a mild-mannered man outside of the ring while being a formidable bird of prey between the ropes. Tonight, Jackson faces the challenge of a man who has some impressive knockout credentials of his own, NABF champion Quincy Taylor. Coming up, the last feature bout of the evening, the WBC Middleweight Championship, Jackson versus Taylor. Once again, let's go back down to ringside for this middleweight shootout, and here's Steve Albert. Steve.
Thank you, Jim. Julian the Hawk Jackson recaptured the WBC middleweight title with a convincing second-round TKO over Agostino Cardamone this past March, a title Jackson held from November of 1990 to May of 1993. Then he ran into Gerald McClellan, who stopped him not once, but twice. The first was a fifth-round TKO, but in the rematch, the once powerful Hawk was really humbled, losing via first-round stoppage. Many felt it was time for the Hawk to soar into retirement, but despite the critics, Jackson, a three-time world champion, felt he still had something left. In his prime, Jackson arguably was the hardest puncher pound for pound of the world. But age plus the wear and tear from so many ring wars can take their toll. Yet the Hawk perseveres. He's 34 now, and he's been written off more than once. But the man who has 47 knockouts and 51 wins with only 3 defeats is determined to be recognized not only in boxing circles, but by the general public, something that has eluded him in spite of his success. As we bring back the fight, Dr. Ferdy, where is Jackson now in his career?
He's at the bend headed toward the barn. If he doesn't win here tonight, then he can start thinking about a career change. And if he wins, he's got a very short time before he gets out. He's at the very end.
And what do you expect to hear?
I expect an explosion in which Julian will win.
All right, as we go back to Bobby Ches. And Bobby, does Quincy Taylor have the type of style to beat Jackson?
Quincy Taylor's a fast, good-punching southpaw. He's smart, and he's well-conditioned. These assets, along with his style, gives him an excellent chance to win here tonight.
All right, Bobby, let's go right to the tail of the tape for this WBC Middleweight Championship. 10-point much scoring system, 3 scoring judges. No standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. As we check out the rules as well, only the referee can stop the fight. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell except in the last round. If there's an accidental foul before the start of the 4th round, the fight is ruled a no decision. If it happens after the start of the 4th, they go to the scorecard. So here at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, moving right along, the WBC Middleweight Championship. Jackson and Taylor, up to our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Well, fans, we welcome you to our final world title featured attraction brought to you by Don King Productions and King Vision, along with Showtime Event Television, Corona Beer, and the MGM Grand. This bout is sanctioned by the World Boxing Council, the President, Jose Sulaiman, Supervisor Dickie Cole, along with the Nevada State Athletic Commission, the Chairman, Dr. James Nave. And our judges scoring this bout from ringside, David Chung, Jose Laurino, and Dave Moretti. And here's our referee in charge of this bout. He'll be giving instructions after the introductions, Jay Nady. All right, fans, here we go with the WBC Middleweight Championship of the World, scheduled for 12 rounds of boxing. I present to you first the challenger on my right, fighting out of the blue corner. Wearing blue trunks with white trim, he is from Dallas, Texas, and fighting out of the Last Mountain Training Camp in Sequim, Washington. He weighed in at 159.5 pounds. His record includes 25 wins, 3 losses, with 21 of his wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the NABF champion who is making his first attempt at a world title. Please welcome tonight's challenger, ranked the #2 middleweight by the WBC, Quincy Taylor. And his opponent across the ring is the defending world champion on my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white trunks with red and blue trim, hailing from and proudly representing St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands. He weighed in at the middleweight limit of 160 pounds. His record includes 51 wins, 3 losses, with 47 big wins coming by way of knockout. And here is the hard-hitting former junior middleweight champion and 2-time WBC middleweight champion of the world. Please welcome Julian the Hawk Jackson. And once again, here's our referee in charge, Jay Nady.
All right, gentlemen, I gave you instructions in the dressing room. Do you have any questions? Just to go over it again, the navel to the hip bone, that's low. Nothing behind the ear. On 12 rounds of good, clean fighting, obey my commands and defend yourself at all times. Let's go to work.
Well, a good portion of this crowd has departed with the Mike Tyson out of the way. This man, Quincy Taylor, dubbed Baby Tyson for his KO ability. He's never been down, and he's fighting one of the hardest punchers the middleweight division has ever seen. And here he is, Julian Jackson. The chin and the legs very questionable, but the Hawk says this is like my boxing debut. In my mind, I'm challenging for the championship. He's had difficulty with southpaws. Taylor is a southpaw, but he feels he's much more prepared now than ever. The feeling is that this fight won't go very long because we have two knockout specialists, two hard-punching knockout artists. The less it does go, the tougher it could be for Jackson.
You could have a real shootout here, Steve. Jackson is doing exactly what he said. He's going to take it to him like he's fighting for the title, like he's a challenger. He can run into something here, especially from the awkward angles the southpaw will give him.
He's willing to take it, as we saw with McClellan. And with McClellan, it was with disastrous results. If this guy can punch anything like McClellan, he's got a chance to knock out Julian Jackson.
You'll notice Quincy Taylor with the bulky knee brace on his left leg. That's the result of a torn ACL. Taylor told us that Jackson will come out bombing. He'll try to take me out early, said Quincy Taylor. I'll try to take it to the later rounds, but he says, I have a big punch. Sugar Ray Leonard can attest to that. Sugar Ray, in a sparring session years ago, got rocked by this man, Quincy Taylor.
That was low. Keep your punches up, but don't grab his head.
Jane 80 warning Julian Jackson about the low blows and grabbing of the head.
Well, Jackson's coming out doing exactly what he said. He's trying to unload bombs inside, body and head, ripping with that right hand and the hook.
Boy, Julian punches with such savage.
Uppercut by Jackson to the midsection of Taylor, right above us. Jackson said the best punch against the southpaw is the straight lead-off right hand. We'll see if he does that.
I don't think Jackson knows how to throw a soft punch. I mean, he throws everything like he wants the ring post to fall down when he hits somebody.
Well, somebody's bleeding a little bit already because it just got all over me.
Looks like the bridge of Jackson's nose.
Well, Quincy so far doesn't want to have any part of toe-to-toe with Julian Jackson. He is so far eluding and doing the best he can to get away from those big bombs. Maybe he's going to wait for Julian and his old legs to get tired. A lot of people have gotten starch waiting for Julian to get tired.
Quincy Taylor guided well in his corner by a Hall of Famer, Curtis Coates, former welterweight champion.
There appears to be some blood on the bridge of the nose of Julian Jackson, if not the corner of his eyebrow.
Yeah, right there where the brow meets the nose, he seems to have a little cut. Not much, insignificant, can't do anything for this fight.
The prevailing opinion about Jackson is he may not be shot, but he's not as good as he used to be. His leg's questionable, so is his chin.
The last thing to leave, Steve, is the punch, and he can punch.
Well, he's also had bilateral detached retinas. He's flirting with an inevitable blindness if he continues to fight over a long period of time. I would not like to see that. He's a wonderful guy. I'd like to see him go out in full control of himself.
One of the all-time greats from the Virgin Islands. Under 10 seconds to go in the first round, and in his prime, Jackson overpowering. Powerful, explosive KO power, particularly with his left hook.
Give me that count. Come on, sit down. Good. Relax. Okay, relax.
You all right?
You're all right, brother.
Come on.
Just relax.
Right.
You're laying back a little bit too much. All right? You got to step your pace up by coming in, Julian. You're just sitting back a little bit too much. All right? Just stay a little busier.
I like to look at that when you get a minute, please.
Okay? All right? Just be cool. Just keep punching. You're doing all right. You don't win the first round, all right? You need that jab a little bit more. You're coming in without punching. Roll. Remember, you can roll left hook, right hand. All right?
You're all right. You're all right, brother. All right? I need to look at that before the whistle, please. Hey, baby. You got your belt, please? This is yours, man. Yeah, he got it. Yeah, we got it. Okay, come on, let's go to work, okay? Okay, let's get that belt, man.
Both corners apparently happy with the work of their fighters.
And we begin round two, scheduled for 12 for the WBC Middleweight Championship. And since his decision loss to Terry Norris in 1988, Quincy Taylor has really improved, moving up the ladder, getting this title shot. but he is 32, so time running out on Quincy Taylor. He wants to get the job done now.
He's fighting a smart fight right now. He's not sitting inside. He's not punching with Julian Jackson. He's not letting Julian punch all over him. Gets on the ropes, moves to the side, tries to counter. He's doing what he's supposed to.
Taylor 25-3 with 21 knockouts, rated number 2 by the WBC and IBF. He's the NABF middleweight champ, dubbed Baby Tyson for his knockout ability. Jackson 51-3. He's the champion, 47 knockouts, a 3-time world champion, 10-3 in world title bouts.
I never thought he got the recognition he should have had. I mean, I don't know why, because he's a good-looking guy and he fights well and he's had a spectacular career, but somehow he fought in obscurity. I don't know why.
You know, it always depends on the personalities in the divisions, and every once in a while you'll get one or two to overshadow you.
This night has been so long, I think somebody along the way mentioned that this had the ingredients of being the most competitive of the 4 fights.
I thought it was. I thought it was going to be a war. So far, Taylor, not to make it a war. Julian's done his part. He's dancing as hard as he can.
Many thought Jackson would retire after his 2 losses to Gerald McClellan, but he says he is not done yet. Lunging right hand there by Jackson, but no damage on Taylor. Taylor, good physique, very sturdy, solid body. He's never been down.
Taylor's minimizing Jackson's effectiveness with that big stuff, and he's also scoring some punches of his own.
It's not pretty, but he's effective.
Taylor's got a good chin. You're going to have one against Jackson.
And so far, Jackson has not been able to land anything really flush with full power. He's reaching for the blows, and Taylor's is just stepping away enough to diminish the power of Julian's blows.
Julian Jackson won his first 29 fights convincingly, got his first title shot with Mike McCallum in 1986. Jackson's first major setback. He's only lost 3 times, the other 2 to McClellan.
It was a nice right-hand lead by Jackson. Landed pretty clean, but follow-up wasn't there. Once again, Quincy Taylor getting out of the way.
Taylor, confident, calm, relaxed style at 32, a seasoned veteran, has worked hard for this first shot at a world title. Taylor in the blue trunks, the challenger. Jackson in the white, the champion.
Well, in order to avoid this crowd from getting up and leaving en masse, Quincy better start fighting a little bit more exciting a fight, because so far these first 2 rounds have not set this public on fire.
Well, the crowd is very much at a numb stage right now. Many have left. They had over 16,000 strong for the Tyson-McNeely fight. But a lot of people very disappointed and let down. There was such a tremendous hype and promotion and build-up to that fight for such a long time. And just like that, boom, it's over. And it ended in very, very disappointing fashion.
You just didn't get to see Mike. You didn't get to see Tyson. He was overwhelmed by this guy, and then every time he shot a good punch, he knocked the guy down. You didn't get to see him fight. You didn't get to see him bob and weave and attack. All he did was counterpunch the guy into oblivion, and that was all.
If you came to see a good event, you saw an event, but you didn't see a good fight.
But not a good fight. Well, we have been saying all week that this is an event, not a fight, but I'll tell you what, McNeely made it a fight for 1 round. Had they let him go to the end, nobody could have criticized him.
Well, in case you were wondering, McNeely made $5,455 per second. Round 3.
Not a bad minute and a half's work.
But who knows? They may take a lot of that away once they review the tapes, the Nevada State Athletic Commission, because of the fashion in which it was stopped.
I think they could find his manager and his handlers. I don't think they could find him for their action.
Oh, I don't think so either. I mean, I think they'd be more than glad to just forget that and let it sink into limbo of its own weight.
Shame. What a shame it had to come to that. You have a lot of people here, glossy-eyed, just nodding their heads negatively. It should have happened that way. Anyway, this for the WBC Middleweight Championship has been rather uneventful. A lot of people thought that Jackson, including Taylor, would come out bombing, come out swarming. Maybe not like Peter McNeely did, but at least the way Julian Jackson knows how.
And Julian's trying as much as he ever tries to knock this guy out. It's Quincy that's content to fall back and fight a little dull fight, and unfortunately that's not what we want to see here. We don't want more dullness, we want excitement.
And we saw what happened in his last fight in Worcester. in which he did not look good in the first round against the Italian Agostino Cardamone, and then boom, one punch. He put Cardamone down, came out of nowhere in the second round.
Cardamone, for 1 second, was on top, and next thing you knew, he was on his back.
That was a ferocious, vicious right hook to the jaw to KO Cardamone. Midway, round 3. The life has been sucked out of this arena.
It does. It looks like we're on a ship that's been beached. Everybody's gotten off, and just we're sitting here waiting for the crew to finish.
The SS Poseidon.
I'm going to pass out the no-dose.
Really unfortunate.
Well, that's unfortunate because Julian Jackson's always given such blazingly good fights. Darn it, I wish this was one of them tonight. I wish we could go out with a blaze of excitement. But don't give up hope. Everywhere there's Julian Jackson, there's a possibility of a quick knockout.
Crazy, crazy night. We thought that Lamar Murphy won that first fight to take the championship away from Miguel Angel Gonzalez, and then a boring second fight for the WBA heavyweight championship.
But in the second fight, 3 of the judges gave 3 rounds to hip.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
Ridiculous. Well, that sums up tonight's night. Ridiculous.
No, the best fight was the riot.
That's true. After that,
That was the best
after the real fight, you're right. Lamar Murphy's people very upset. Under 30 seconds, round 3. Quincy Taylor beginning to open up just a bit now. Hearing it from his corner, Curtis Coates, one of the great champions. Final seconds, round 3. There's the bell. Let's go over to Jim Gray. Jim?
Thank you, Steve. I'm joined by Michael Spinks, the former heavyweight champion of the world. Michael fought Mike Tyson back in 1988 in June. Lost in 91 seconds in the first round. Your thoughts on what happened here and the controversial ending?
Well, it was going well for a minute. You know, the guy came out trying to prove his point. Gave Mike some real rough tactics, which is a part of boxing. But the ending was kind of sudden. I mean, he got hit one time. All the punches Mike threw to hit him, only one landed, which was the uppercut. And all of a sudden, in the ring and stopped the fight. But
what would you have done, and how would you have felt had your trainer done that to you?
I'd have been kicking their butt now, right now. You know, but I think Mills Lane, being that that's his arena, he controlled the ring. And if the man wasn't in bad shape, I don't think McNeely was in bad shape.
Trainer's way out of line. Becky Owen for running in there, isn't it?
Yeah, because the same thing happened with Magic Taylor when Richard Steele stopped the fight with Julio Cesar Chavez and Magic Taylor. Lou Duva hopped in the ring while Richard Steele was...
Mike, we got to get back to the action right here. We appreciate you. So good to see you. Let's go back to Steve.
All right, Jim. Michael getting all wound up there. Round 4. Well, people are going to be talking about that unfortunate incident for a long time to come. Shame.
Quincy Taylor's putting together where probably the more effective of the punches. He's landing, moving, slipping, getting out of the way of some of Julian's bigger stuff. But right now, relatively uneventful fight.
Left hook there by, actually, it's a straight left by Taylor, but a glancing blow as Jackson was able to duck away from it. Do you find it difficult to fight southpaws, Bobby?
You know, I fought so many early in the 80s when I was in 160, 168 pound divisions. I don't care. They're a pain in the rear end sometimes. They're awkward. They're just...
It's confusing at times.
They drive you nuts because all their punches and your punches have to come from different angles and different counters, and it just sometimes is annoying.
Well, Julian Jackson said he's ready for this southpaw. He hadn't fought too many southpaws early on, but he's fought more later in his career. He says he feels prepared.
Bobby, I'm sorry. Since every fighter is going to be asked this question, and you are our fighter, I'm going to ask you the question. What would you have said to your corner man if he jumped in way before you were ready to finish fighting? Would you have words for him, or would you have just said thank you?
I've already made it very clear that if they ever do that, they will fight with me on the spot. So I don't expect it would happen.
That's an answer, Bobby. That's the answer.
Although, you know, McNeely didn't seem that upset or angered over it at first, but I think once he starts thinking about it more and hears more about it and the commentaries that are going to
wait till he reads all the papers tomorrow. He's going to get very mad.
It's going to fester.
If I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down like a man, so let it be.
You know, Taylor appears to be stepping up the action. He just got off a nice little rally against Julian. He's won a round. He's coming on. It's just slow. He's not attacking. It's Julian that's doing the attacking. Oh, look at that.
Good left, straight left hand there by Quincy Taylor that got the attention of Julian Jackson.
But it was, you know, it's so slow. It's a miracle it landed. It was like a lofting grenade. It wasn't really strong. It wasn't a zipping punch.
He's quietly subduing Julian Jackson.
Oh, there's a good uppercut, left uppercut by Taylor, and an answer by Jackson. An uppercut from him and then a right.
I think that's what Julian wants. He wants a mix-up. That's what he wants. He wants to be in there close.
Oh, a left hook, and down goes Jackson just above us. Julian Jackson is down.
Steve's head almost wound up in my lap.
6. You okay? 7. 8. You okay? Are you sure you're all right?
He gets up at 8.
Come to me. Put your hands up.
Can't be saved by the bell, except in the last round.
Well, we were expecting an explosion. We got it. Let's go to the corner.
There you go. Come on now. Come on now. Wake up. Wake up. All right? Come on now. Relax. Give me that dry towel. All right, Julian? You ain't closing that gap. Remember we worked doing that in the gym? All right. You're laying back too much, all right? That was his best.
All right, let's take a look at this sudden and shocking turn of events. Now, that's a perfect left hand. And Julian, look at Julian. Delayed reaction, down he goes, and there is Bobby Chess.
Yeah, he almost landed right in my face. You watch it from the overhead angle. He hits him, steps to the side, right on the side of the head, the temple area. Julian never saw it, and as he comes through, he does almost wind up in my lap.
And let's go super slow so you can really see the beauty of that punch, because that was a perfectly landed punch. And this is what we talked about. Whang! Right on the jaw. Man, that was a good shot. And down goes Julian, almost sliding to where we were. Head first slide in the first base.
Little problem in Jackson's corner. A lot of moisture there, so they towel it up. Big knockdown at 2:53 of the round off the strong left hand by Quincy Taylor. Jackson almost didn't get up. Just made it.
I think it's mandatory right now for Quincy Taylor to test to see if Julian Jackson's still hurt. Test to see how much trouble he may still be in.
Well, you see, Julian's got a whole world of guts. So even while he's weakened and even while he's not in good shape, he will attack. So if Taylor is smart, he should be able to test him really well now. Really put him to the test. Let him come in and
Let go, stop.
go at him.
Thank you. Go here.
Oh, another one that rocks her. That time a right hand, a right hook that rocked Julian Jackson. And a left hook that nails Jackson right on the jaw.
Similar move to the last one. He rocked, stepped outside Julian's right hand, bang, straight left.
You gotta box out.
Jay Nady watching Jackson very closely. Jackson may be on his way down again.
But he's dangerous, always dangerous. Don't count out Julian Jackson. Look at that shot. If that lands right.
A lot of time left, just under 2 minutes left in the 5th round.
Taylor's working a couple of nice uppercuts on the inside. He's trying to time Julian again, too. He timed him with that right hook on the way in. He's trying to time him.
Julian's not right. Julian's not right. His legs are not working right. He is just his upper body is working right now. He's ripe for the taking. But Quincy's very, very careful. He's not going to make any mistakes here. Julian is so open now, all he's got to do is time him right. It's just a moment.
Julian's eyes don't look good, Freddie. I can see him because I'm closer to him, and they just don't look good. They don't look clear. They don't look focused.
He looks dazed. He's fighting on instinct.
Quincy Taylor being very patient, waiting for his moment, waiting for his opening. And you just get the feeling it could be coming. There's the left uppercut, and there it was. Quincy Taylor.
You see the starch starting to come out of Julian Jackson's punches now.
Oh, yeah.
He can't even load up where he wants to.
I don't think he can see the guy real good anyway.
Jackson just walking into these punches. There's another left hook by Quincy Taylor, and Jackson is hanging in there and comes back with a right cross.
Jackson lands a big right hand there.
And then a left hook by Jackson, Bobby.
Here comes the slugfest we talked about.
Oh, a left uppercut by Taylor. It is toe-to-toe, furious action.
Oh, another one.
I talked to Julian Jackson. I said, because you're so strong and powerful, sometimes you forget about defense, just walk your opponent. He said that's been a problem in the past. He's trying to correct it. He hasn't corrected it.
That's too late in his career to do that.
Oh, big left hook to the body.
By Julian Jackson. Now he goes to the body with the right. Straight right uppercut. Left uppercut by Taylor. And they end in a furious exchange.
So much heart, Julian. Let's
You
listen.
can take it. Wake up. Wake up. That's what I'm talking about. Come on now.
Take it best. No, Jimmy, got him now.
Now you got him now. You see how you hit him with that body, Julian? See when you don't lay back? See what happened? All right?
He's all right.
He's all right. Ain't nothing wrong.
You're taking some shots, Coach.
He's in a hell of a fight.
He's in a fight.
Yeah, he's in a fight.
I don't want him taking too many
He
now.
ain't taking too many.
Let's take a look at how Julian gets in trouble again. Oh, and now what in the world held him up for that? That was every bit as good a shot as the one that put him down. Now let's take a look at the uppercut. Bobby.
Later in the round in super slow motion. This is really beautiful. You get to see he digs up underneath, right between his hands. Clean, crisp, nice driving from the floor, from his feet. Beautiful uppercut.
Quincy, who started slow, certainly has this fight to win right in his hands right now. With the days, Julian Jackson still dangerous, always dangerous, but not the same as when the fight started.
Quincy Taylor continues to be very patient, landing his big punches. Jackson trying to load up on his famous power punches, but he's missing for the most part. Round 6, scheduled for 12.
Another one of those uppercuts, Steve, right inside. He just waits on Julian. Julian comes in with that big stuff, sets, ducks, whips it right up in between his gloves.
Nice fighting by Taylor. Nice fighting.
Combination here, and then digging to the body with that right uppercut is Julian Jackson. Ooh. Taylor just missed the right uppercut. And Jackson plowing forward. The aggressor.
The problems start for Jackson's opponents when he starts to land those big bombs clean. Taylor is minimizing that very, very well.
Jackson with the left hook doubling up, follows up with the right that missed. Jackson showing a lot of heart after getting knocked down.
Jackson's been a great champion. It's sad to see him at the end of his career, but boy, he is still there as far as his heart.
Let go of his head, Julian. Let go of his head.
Jackson just moving in and wailing away.
Referee has very little work to do here because both guys are just wailing away.
Oh, speaking of wailing away, a left cross by Quincy Taylor right on the money.
You watch, Taylor's done that 3 times. He rocks to the side, lets the right hand come by, and turns his left cross right over on Julian's jaw. That one was even better than the one before, although the effects don't seem to be there.
This time, Julian stayed up. Wild swing and a miss by Jackson with a left hook. He comes right back at Taylor. He is game. Straight right there by Jackson. That's connected. That left uppercut by Taylor just grazed him, just missed. Nice jab by Taylor. Oh, the straight left by Taylor. And Jackson's in trouble.
He's out on his feet. Watch his right hook and then the left hand on top. He's out.
One more could do it unless they step in right now.
I'll tell you what, he's out.
He's out on
his feet. It's a shame to see.
The referee can stop this. He doesn't know he's out on his feet.
That's it.
That's right.
Julian knows it. Look at him. Julian knows. He knows he just can't take the punch. He shook his head. He just knows.
And the Julian Jackson corner is irate, screaming at Jane 80, but that's a good move by Jackson.
No, that's a good move. He's at the end of his career. There's no sense to send him off for some kind of injury when he doesn't need to. He couldn't win this fight, and he was just on the verge of going down. I think it's very, very good judgment on the part of the referee. And I think Julian better think of some other way to make a living because this is no longer a place for Julian Jackson. It's no longer safe for him.
Well, you wonder if this is it for Julian Jackson. It would probably be wise to hang up the gloves at this stage of a great career.
Well, we've now been sitting in these chairs together for 10 years, and you have already learned one lesson in boxing. They never leave. They never leave.
No, we just won't leave peacefully.
Yeah. I mean, he will leave on a stretcher. That's when he's going to leave. I mean, this won't prove it to him, but someone should talk to him. I think King should talk to him.
And there's no such thing as the word retirement in boxing. So Julian Jackson loses for only the 4th time in his career, 51-4.
All right, let's take a look at how this round went. This is the first shot that got him in trouble. I mean, you know, he's winging everything he's got. Julian's got no control over his punch. Look at that uppercut. That uppercut landed right there. Could have dropped him.
And later in the round, you can watch Julian still trying to come. There's that beautiful left cross I was talking about before. He slips to the side. Julian misses the right over the top, right on the gym.
And from the overhead shot, which is you see there you see the shot, just like Bobby said. He just kind of moved over, waited till the punch goes by, and then he landed his. It was kind of a thing of beauty, and he landed it many times. But when Julian was in trouble, there was no sense in continuing. He was just really in trouble.
So Quincy Taylor wins the WBC Middleweight Championship in his first attempt at a world title. He also may have sent the 34-year-old Julian Jackson into retirement. Quincy Taylor, not exactly a household name.
As you see the end there, Julian Jackson not returning any fire, not offering up anything other than a passive get out of the way defense. I think the referee did a good thing. I think he could have gotten hurt.
Taylor now 26-3. The new WBC middleweight champion, Quincy Taylor. So we are set for the official time. Let's go up to our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Hands up there. All right, all right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 2 minutes, 33 seconds in round number 6. Our referee in charge, Jay Nady, stops the contest. He's the winner by way of technical knockout, and he is the new WBC middleweight champion of the world, Quincy Taylor.
So there it is. A championship changes hands. Quincy Taylor, the Baby Tyson, is the new WBC middleweight champ with a stoppage of Julian Jackson at 2:33 of round number 6 in our final fight of the evening. So a good night for Quincy Taylor. And you have to speculate, as we've mentioned before, that this could be it for the once mighty champion, Julian Jackson, who may finally hang up the gloves. He falls to 51-4. Right now, standing by with the new champion is the fight doctor. Bertie?
A new champion, how does that sound to you?
Oh, it sounds great. First of all, I'd like to give thanks to my Lord and Savior for giving me an opportunity to be able to put on one performance, and thank Julian Jackson for being a wonderful champion that he is.
All right, Julian, we have said you've had a brilliant career. You consider backing it after this?
I'll think about it.
I mean, you should think about it seriously. Can you take that from a friend? I'm a friend of yours, please.
Well,
you cannot take
I'm going to let the best man decide, and that's God.
Yes, that's a very good man to decide that. Did you find you were landing a left hand that was just a thing of beauty? Did you think you'd knock him out with that left hand? He kept repeating it.
Well, I felt like he could take a shot because I hit him with it. He didn't go nowhere. But I said if I just sit down on one, Curtis would say if I sit down on one, I come back and hit a good left hand, sit down on it, and he might go.
The man that you referred to, Curtis, is Curtis Coates, one of the great welterweight champions who knocked the stuffing I had, named Louis Rodriguez. What did you teach him that showed him this kind of power to knock out a Julian Jackson?
Well, he's got good turns. He's got good shoulder movement. He turns his hips when he throws the punches. He's always relaxed, and he's always a pinpoint puncher. So that makes a difference.
Julian, at the very end, you were just rocky. Did you think that fight should have been stopped at the very end because you really didn't have any place to go?
Well, I felt that I could have continued because he was really quick, you know what I'm saying? And I saw the punches, but he caught me some good shots.
Take a look if you want to see something bad about the first knock where you go sliding into second base here. Watch this. You miss, and watch this beautiful counter shot. Bang! Now watch the way you go sliding into second base.
I couldn't get my footing, man. You know, he hit pretty good, but not as hard as other fighters I've faced. But he's pretty good. He's pretty quick, very elusive, and I think you're gonna be a good champion.
Well,
all right.
We have mentioned once before that you should retire. Let's leave on the note that we hope you retire. It's up to God, you said, and we want to have any final words on that for your public who adore you.
Well, you know, I appreciate Don King production and for all that they've done for me. And I know that whatever decision I make, they were going to back me 100%. And, you know, Quincy Taylor, you know, it's a good fight. I think you'll be a good champion. And, Well, may God continue to bless you.
Thank both of you for a nice fight, and back to Steve Albert at ringside.
All right, thank you very much, Ferdy, as the crowd files out after Julian Jackson is dethroned by Quincy Taylor. And once again, we're set to turn things over to our fight expert, Bobby Ches, for his perspective of what we just saw, our last fight, with the assistance of the telestrator. Bobby, what do you have?
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to show you that the knockdown, the first knockdown, what happens here is Quincy Taylor's a southpaw, so his power's on this side here. He steps over to the side. Right over here. Julian Jackson fires a right that misses. He counters with a right, with a left cross, and watch him go down to the canvas, almost in my lap. He steps to the left, fires that right over the top. Lands right on the jaw. Once again, Julian Jackson goes down, and I almost catch him.
So there it is.
Counter-punching.
Yep. How about your final thoughts? Do you think that Jackson should finally hang him up?
Yeah, Steve, I think that the amount of punishment he's taken over the years, the gym wars combined with the fight wars, is taking his toll, and I don't think there's much left. I don't want to see him get hurt.
Yeah, plus, you know, the eye problems. He's got the detached retina. He seemed very glazed, very glossy-eyed from the start of the fight, actually.
Well, that's just it. When a fighter has reached his limit of what he can take and what he can absorb, and then easy punches just start to rock them. It's just a shame.
What do you think of Quincy Taylor? Was this a case of him taking on a fighter at the end of his career? Did he look impressive in your eyes?
Well, he looked good. He boxed smart, punched well, used good combinations. But I'll tell you what, he did take a man on the end of his career. Want to see him against some of the younger talent up and coming, but I think he's still a very classy act and a good fighter.
How do you think Quincy Taylor would do against the rest of this division? Do you think he's got an opportunity to unify this title?
Well, I think he can fight with any of them right now, especially the fact that he's a southpaw, a good punching, quick southpaw with excellent defense and good reflexes. I think that puts him right in the hunt to do anything he wants.
And he's 32 years of age. I guess it's about time he finally got his first world title shot, and he made the most of the situation.
That's true. It's late in the stage, as they say. I know I'm 33, and I'm considered an elder statesman, which I don't like.
But a young broadcaster, as we pointed out many times.
That works for me.
Well, I'm very impressed with your expertise on the telestrator. It's the first time you've used it. You must have been a whiz at the old Etch-a-Sketch as a kid.
Yeah, as a kid, I did like that game.
Okay. All right, we'll have more about our entire card a little bit later. The controversial ending of our main event, Mike Tyson and Peter McNeely. Right now, let's go back upstairs to Jim Hill for a final summary. Jim?
All right, Steve, thank you very much. But before we go, let us recap tonight's boxing quadruple header. 3 world title bouts and a significant non-title